Alright, well the one is my buddy's TO. Alright, that's the next thing on the agenda. My dad already cut the whole back off. We're just cutting the roof off. Getting that 454 out of there. I'm filling it up with some gas. This thing moved over to my shop. Alright, so the battery I put in here is dead, so I've got this dial's broken, so I'm using my phone. Okay, I got that on. Now it's time to see if this thing will fire up. It did trip the breaker when I turned it on. But let's see what happens. Fire right up. Check that out. I'll let this charge a little bit. We'll work on getting all this stuff moved once we get it over there. It should be a fun one. We're gonna chop it here, our blue line, all the way across, all the way through here. That way the whole roof's off, and then the motor's underneath that, which you can't see. There's a motor underneath the hump. Once I get it over there, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. This is light. Alright, so here's a better view of the inside. That's why we're pulling this motor. 454 big block with a turbo 400. It's kind of turned into a little bit of a storage facility right now. But I'll pull this dog box off here in a little bit and I'll kind of show it off a little better. Okay, well, part of why I'm helping my dad get this 454 out is because this is an air tank with a little compressor. I'll upgrade the compressor size, but this will be perfect for my minivan project, just sitting over there next to the cat that's meowing. So I'll throw this in my van, and then all the bags off of this will also go in my van. And like I said, I'll just upgrade this, that way it fills up quicker. So that way I can bag my van for pretty much nothing, which would be super, super cool. I'm working on cleaning some of the junk off of here, throwing my trash cans, so that way we can get it out to trash before they come pick it up tomorrow morning. And then there's a bunch of metal stuff on here as well that I'll be pulling off, so that way it just lightens it up, makes it easier to work on. And then we'll be... Where's the other cat? And then we'll be pulling these doors off. There's a hornet right there. Okay, got him. We'll be pulling it off here. See if I can point this in a better direction. Okay, so we've got these that go all the way up. So once I pull all these and cut those, this whole door should just fall right off, and then we'll cut the shell off, and then there's some metal beams and stuff in there that we'll have to remove as well. And then once this whole thing's off, we'll be able to make it even lighter, that way we can take it to the dump. It's definitely going to be a process, but we'll get there. Okay, so that side is off. I'm going to work on this side. I'll set you guys up so you can see kind of how easy it is. I cut all these back. They're all green and purple, which is kind of funny, but cut all those. This was cut on the other side by my dad, but once you cut this strap down here, this pops out, and then you just remove all these bolts. I'll get it down to the last one, and then I'll record it for you. And once I grab this handle here, and then it drops. It is heavy, don't get me wrong. And then move it over to the other side. So now, this is what it looks like. So now all we have to do is just cut the roof off, and then we should have pretty good access to that tunnel there. And actually pull that off next and show that off too. Alright, well, this is what the front end looks like right now. We're going to be doing the same thing to the other side, but it's giving us a good look at the structure that's on the inside so that we can get the roof tore off. Alright, so this is my buddy's Volvo S60. It's a P2 chassis. Pretty nice fitment, pretty nice. But I'm changing out his heater here. So I pulled this one out of his parts car. And it's right up underneath here, so I'm going to pull the glove box so I've got better access to it. Pull the floor mat, slide the seat all the way back. Pull some of this stuff out. There's also a 6-speed car, or 5-speed car, sorry. Spaceball. The flower shift knob. Pretty cool. But yeah, I'm going to get all this pulled out and I'll show you where all the screws are at, because I struggled with this for a while on his parts car. Alright, so I slid the seat back and pulled the rubber mat out. There's 4 total clips. And then this alignment pin here. So I pulled all those. And then now I'll open this, pull all the contents out of it so they don't fly all over the place. And then there should be, I think, 6 torque screws in here. Alright, so there's one there, 3rd one down there, same thing on this side. And it seems like it doesn't go down far enough for all this to fall out, so get all 3 of those pulled. Little kitty cat intermission. Okay, so there was these 3, those 3, and then there's these 2. I'll get these off real quick. There's one. Here's another one. Yeah, the whole thing just falls out now, so I'll show you what it looks like once that's out. Okay, so there's a plug here for the glove box light, and then there's a kick panel light right here. It's those plugs, that one there and that one there. And in this panel, it is easier to pull this off. This tab was already broken, so I know this has been off before. So I'm going to pull that screw and that screw from the other side, and it'll make it a lot easier to put it in and pull it out. But now the heater is right there. Okay, so for some reason the Volvos will not do it unless they're running. So car's on, and so now it's spinning. If I turn the knob over here, it does speed up, which is a good sign. So I'll go ahead and shut this off. Oh, the switch might also have slight inconsistency. Kind of feels like it's a button. Doesn't quite shut off all the way. It's all the way to the left, but it is still, oh, see there, shut off now. So you kind of got to wiggle it to get it to shut off all the way, but it does work, so that's a good sign. So I can shut this off. That housing got wrecked when I pulled it out of the other car, so I'm going to swap the housings once I get the other one out as well. Alright, so I got everything swapped over to this housing. The only thing that's broken is this little tab here. But it's just a drain for, well, airflow and a drain for the bottom. So not that big of a deal. It gets held on by that screw anyways. So now I just gotta fish it up into this hole up here, which I'll check to make sure that there's nothing in it. You know, like there's some little mouse poopies in here and stuff, so just make sure that it's clean before I put this back in. Alright, I got it all put back together. It's looking pretty good. I also left this original one because I really don't even know if this was actually the issue, because I was kind of wiggling this knob around and then it started randomly working. I thought it was only working when the car was on, but when I shut the car off and pulled the key out and put the key back in and just turned it to the on position, didn't actually start the car, it started working. So there could be something wrong with that knob. So if for some reason the new fan doesn't fix it, I can always pull this part apart, put a new knob in there, But it's working right now, so I'm going to take this back down to my buddy's place. And it's a short walk, so I'll just end up walking back. But it's looking pretty good. And he'll actually have heat, so his defrost will work. Which I'm going through the same problem with my car right there. I need a heater core, so this job that I just did for him, he's probably going to end up buying me a heater core for my car. My car is low until I ride in this, or right now I'm driving it, but my car is not as low as this. Right down the driveway. Alright, homies are here. He brought the Bronco. I'll show the Acura here in a second, but we're welding the diff. So I already cut out my plates for the inside. They're still a little hot, but we got to sand all the paint off of these, and then they'll just slot right in there in the spider gears. I'll do both sides, and then we'll weld it up. Weld a diff in a Subaru.
Oh, it's a.
Oh, it's on the electrical cord.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, I think it's clean.
Yeah, we're cooking all that gear oil out of there.
She fighting back. Might have to start the call.
Alright, well, this is 2 days later. Spinning forward, spinning forward. I'm not going to show my welds because they're not very pretty, but they'll hold. At least, let's hope they do. So now I just got to clean up this back cover here. Throw this on with some new gasket maker, and then I'll fill it up with some fluid I have. Do another cycle just to get any slag that might be in there out. And then he'll change it every 100 miles, at least twice. Just to make sure that there's nothing nasty in there. If I had some actual gas to run on my welder, it would have come out a little bit cleaner, but gotta work with what you got. First welded diff, we'll see how long it lasts. Alright, we're all gooped up with the good stuff. Got a certified bucket right here to hold it up. So I'm gonna let this settle. I've got these snugged up but not tight. And then I'll pull both these fill and drain plugs, fill it up with some used fluid I got, run it on the bench for a while with the drill here and that socket, and then I'll be able to officially, oh, forgot to get that one. I'll officially drop it, and then I'll probably run another cycle through it. I might even fill it with some diesel just to fully clean it out, because all of it will fling directly at the metal plug, so it'll push all the debris and stuff out of there from welding. Alright, so I got this on. I'm gonna go ahead and torque it down just because it's not mine. So normally I would just send these with the impact and call it good, but since it's for a buddy of mine, I want to do everything as right as I can. So once this is torqued on, I'll fill this guy up with some not ATF, I keep saying that, it's gear oil, and I'll cycle it with the drill, and then let it sit overnight, and I'll drain it tomorrow morning. See how much metal's on the drain plug here, just from slag. And I keep saying this over and over and over again. There's a couple hours in between each of these clips, so it's hard for me to remember. So yeah, torque all these down, and then I'll show you what the fluid looks like coming out tomorrow. Alright, it's all filled up with oil. There's a lot more friction in there with the gear oil. But spinning really, really good. I'm gonna try not to smoke my drill, but spinning pretty nice. So I'll probably just do this for a minute or so, let it sit, and then I'll drain it tomorrow. The fluid went in perfectly clean, so I'll have to see what color it comes out tomorrow. Oh yeah. See, that is why you fill it and then spin it, and then I'm gonna do another refill and let it sit again, because all that would have been hanging out in there if we had just gone for it. Yuck. Okay, so this is the aftermath of the truck being stuck. There's dirt everywhere in here. Only thing it hasn't touched is the headliner, but dash, both the front seats, some of the rear seat. I'm gonna get all this stuff pulled out and we're gonna do a full deep clean on this thing. Okay, this is the progress on the back. Got quite a bit more to go. I got it all piled up over there. I still got the front to do, but it's almost empty. Okay, so this is what the inside looks like. It's completely emptied out, except for some little trash here and there, but I think I'm gonna pull these seats out because they've never been pulled since we've owned it. All the door panels are empty. All through here is all empty. Underneath the seats is empty. And then there's stuff behind here, but I don't think any of this got affected. Yeah, all that's still clean. So I'm gonna leave all that in there. And I do have some cardboard and stuff to get rid of. And then all this metal we can just leave in there because I have to take it to the metal yard. And I have a bunch more that needs to go as well. So I'll do that later. But yeah, all this is gonna get burned. This is the other side. So it's actually really clean underneath this WeatherTech, which is really nice that that's there. Same thing with up here. These WeatherTechs did protect underneath the floor mats, so I'll be able to pull these out and just wash them off real quick. But this dash is really, really bad. This seat got most of it. Thankfully the driver's seat didn't, but all in here is all wet. It even got into the glove box here, so I'll be pulling all that stuff out. There's even more stuff in here, which I'll be pulling that out as well. And then yeah, center console even got up here too. So yep, this will be fun. Okay, so while we're over here, I'm going to work on getting these seats pulled. I'll pull all the mats out. We'll do a deep clean vacuum in here, and then we'll continue the vacuuming outside. And while all that stuff's drying, I can come in here with my detailing interior stuff with a brush. I'll brush everything down and then wipe it all with some microfibers. And should be all set on the interior, and then I can move on to the exterior later. I might not even do the exterior just because we live on a dirt road, so it's going to get dirty anyways, but having a nice clean interior that's not disgusting like this is very, very nice. So work on getting this seat out first. Okay, so change of plan on getting this out. I'm by myself, and this thing is one unit and it weighs a ton, so I'm just going to lean it back like this, vacuum and scrub this and all that, and then I'll just plop them right back down, and then I'll do the seats after, because getting these out by myself would probably lead to injury. So just leave them in here, get out all this stuff that's been stuck down here for a couple years, and I gotta hook that vent back up because when I pulled on it, it came disconnected, so that's good to know. But yeah, shouldn't be too bad. Let's get all these wrappers out of here, old fries, old peanut shells, stuff like that. Go from there. Alright, so this is kind of where we're at. Dash is done. Cup holders down here are done. I got the roadside kit out, so I'm gonna clean that up because it's all dirty. But this whole side's vacuumed, middle's vacuumed, and it's not gonna be perfect, but it's definitely already way better than it was. I still have the door panels to do. I've been putting them off because of how terrible they are, but not too bad. Alright, so this is what the door panel looks like. This one's still drying, so if it shows any dirt, I'll wipe that off too. But here's the floors, the dash. I'm not trying to make it perfect because I don't have time to do that, but it's way, way, way better than it was. Got a little bit of light in here. So it's just way better. That switch can pop back in, but that's the back as well. So this is all done. I'm going to leave the windows cracked all night so that way they can air out in here. But I don't think this truck has been this clean in almost 2 years. It's pretty nice. So my dad, my uncle, and I are taking his van right there to a local Cars and Coffee called Ford versus Ferrari at Griot's Garage. So I'll show you what it looks like when we get there. Like the like the